Welcome back to all our Auburn football recruiting and transfer portal junkies. We are still making videos for this 2025 transfer portal and for Auburn. And we're talking about the offensive side of the ball in this one. We are finally talking about a tight end edition. Before we get into the facts that you need to know about this person and obviously what it means for him in Auburn football going forward, I want to remind you that, hey, you're here at E2C Network where we share the Auburn experience. If you are not following or subscribing on whichever platform you are, would love for you to do that. And if you enjoy this type of content, we always appreciate you smashing the like button. Who are we at in this time? We're going to a state that actually, if you've been paying attention to this recruiting cycle a lot, we've been talking about it more than I thought we ever would. And that is the state of Maryland for this 13th overall prospect and commitment and signee, I guess, in the 2025 transfer portal. His name is Preston Howard from the University of Maryland, going and stealing one out of the Big Ten. Still weird to talk about them being part of the Big Ten and not the ACC, but obviously from Maryland. 6'4", 230 approximately pounds is where he's currently listed at on some different sites. We'll just go with approximates there. And obviously at the tight end position. Now, the question is, what type of tight end is he going to be? Because, you could be more of a receiving tight end, and more of a blocking tight end, inline tight end, whatever you want to categorize this guy as. I think everybody's going to have their different opinions. And who knows how Auburn will actually want to utilize him. But we do know that we needed some bodies, and certainly we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Back on this whole Maryland thing. I'm just weirded out by how this has become a pipeline, not just going into the high school ranks. I mean, there was like 3 from the 2025 high school class alone. And then we've also got someone who's currently on this team, Rico Walker, who was a tight end transfer from Maryland last year. So it's just really weird what's going on up there. The fact that we just have inserted ourselves into the state of Maryland, to the university, the high school ranks, and are just creating a little bit of a pipeline here. It's really funny to watch and talk about more and more. A couple of stats to talk about with Preston Howard, obviously on ESPN. You'll look and see that he is currently listed as a sophomore. So we're going to assume that he has 2 more years to play. But the 2 years that he's played there, you can take a look at some of his ESPN stats here. We'll look at 24 receptions, 189 yards, 7.9 per catch. Now, the interesting thing is that his only touchdown came in 2023, and we're not going to talk about who it came against. Just go back and look into it. Just go back and look at the history. So obviously there's some stats for you if you want to talk about that. Let's talk about what it means for Auburn football, for him going forward. For the class, it is the 13th overall commitment signee for this transfer portal class in 2025. It's the 7th, I believe, on the offensive side of the ball, and the first tight end that we are talking about in this class. Maybe it'll be the only. We don't know. We'll wait and see on that one. I guess that brings us into what it means for the position in the class going forward and kind of the depth chart issue. Where is he going to play? How often is he going to play? We do know that we're losing a lot of talent. Rivaldo Fairweather, Luke Deal is going. We also know that Micah Riley left as well. So essentially, you have got 3 spots that were vacated. 2 of those were filled by 2 tight ends in the high school ranks. And so that last spot effectively has now been filled by this person in the transfer portal. Does that mean that we're done yet? Obviously, never want to rule anything out, but it does seem like the numbers have now been filled from what was vacated. But who knows? You never know who might be out there. In terms of playing time out there, it really just depends on how some of the new guys come in, shake out like that. Look, doesn't have the most amazing receiving numbers in the world, but that's never stopped anybody else before. I think everybody's going to try to compare him to Rivaldo Fairweather. That's probably not a fair comparison, but we'll see how he gets utilized. Obviously, there's plenty of playing time to be won with a lot of vacations, a lot of vacated seats in the tight end room at Auburn. Let me know your thoughts about him down in the comments section below, and thanks for hanging out with us here at E2C Network, where we share the Auburn experience. War Eagle.